Yeah, the interest rate thing has been interesting for our clients going through divorce. It came up, and I actually had the Wall Street Journal reported on it after I did a video about it. But we have clients now that where before, if they wanted to buy out their spouse of the property, it was pretty straightforward. As long, they still had the issue of qualifying for the mortgage themselves and so forth. But now, they may have an interest rate of say 3, 4%, when they locked in during the good times of interest rates. And now when they want to do that buyout, the issue becomes, well, now I'm going to, essentially double my rate to do this buyout. So what's been happening is clients are on their own or getting creative. They're going through divorce, but they're amicable enough to say, hey, we want to try and ride this out a little bit, keep the property during, post divorce for a year or 2 years, and agree to meet and confer, every 6 months or a year to see if the interest rate comes down, so we can either do that buyout, number one, or number two, they're thinking that the interest rate is affecting the home value for what, as far as what they can get for it, that's kind of driven prices down.
Sure,
And so they don't intend on doing a buyout, but they intend on selling, but hopefully at a higher price once interest rates drop. Do you have any, what are you seeing on that? Or have you heard people not selling because they want to wait and maybe the prices go up? But we have settlement agreements we're putting together where it says, parties intend to keep the home for an indefinite period of time until which they can get either a certain price or interest rates come down and home prices look a little better. What are you seeing?
With the word that you used that was perfect is amicable when it comes to the divorce thing, to have them agree on it. But what I'm seeing on the ground has to do with the real estate prices. They have come down a little bit, maybe 3 to 7% over the last few months, just because of the winter. We still don't have a lot of inventory. So we have properties that if everything's sold in the time frame without anything being put on the market, that's called absorption rate, that calculation. So right now we're about a month and a half to zero from the active units. So we're just over 300 active residential units now. Besides the graph, this is everything in process, but 300 actual active properties. And at the rate that they're being purchased, after about a month and a half, we'd be at zero. A normal market looks like about 6 months. So we're thinking that this next year, we're going to get more inventory, which is usual.
Right.
The Fed is supposedly, this interest rate's going to come down a couple points, maybe into the fives. That's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a little time.
Right.
I think that's going to kick off a market, but I don't believe we're going to see that super awesome market that we saw back last year, which was every buyer's nightmare and every seller's dream.
Sure.